What's going on, everybody? Trev Wilson here. Welcome back to the Bourbon Wrench. Today, we're gonna be talking about 5 rules to drinking whiskey and why you shouldn't necessarily follow them. Now, there aren't actual rules to drinking whiskey. In fact, I would say there's probably only one rule to drinking whiskey, and that is to drink whiskey however the heck you want to drink it. These are more so of ideas or comments, loose rules that people think that they have to follow or other people want to force other people to do. And that is snobbery. In fact, this whole video is just going to be an anti-snobbery video. Disclaimer right up front, I'm not saying to not do any of these things. In fact, I do pretty much all of these things, but to say that someone has to do this or to think you have to do one of these things is wrong. That's the definition of a snob. To hold your pinky up and say, well, you have to drink whiskey this way or you're wrong. Nope, you're a snob. So let's get right into it. Rule number 1 to drinking your whiskey is that it must be in a Glencairn. Yeah, you gotta drink out of this or you just aren't tasting whiskey right. Now I get it. Yes, a Glencairn is perfect for smelling and tasting and picking apart the whiskey and getting the most notes out of it, okay? I'm not saying that at all. But to say you have to use this glass, you don't have to. There are so many glasses out there, Kinsey glasses, rocks glasses. It's just a vessel to transport whiskey to your mouth. So if there's a glass that you enjoy drinking out of, you can. Like I said, there are benefits to drinking out of specific glasses. It will enhance your nosing and tasting abilities, but not every time you pour a glass do I want to be sitting there and analyzing and breaking down every note there is in the whiskey, okay? I know what the bottle tastes like. It's a $20 bottle of early times. I'm drinking this to drink. In fact, bottles are a vessel. It's got the neck, it's got a handle. You can drink straight out of the bottle if you wanted to. There are some people who get very angry about stuff like that. You're drinking straight out of the bottle. You're a degenerate. Bottom line, you shouldn't get mad about how people are consuming their alcohol. You'll hear me say this multiple times this video. They paid for the bottle, not you, so who cares? All right, moving on to rule number 2 is that you have to pour the standard serving size of 1.5 ounces. Now, I'm not gonna say any names, okay? But there are certain Facebook groups and certain people who will literally fill the Glencairn to the brim, and that's how they drink it. Do I personally do that? No. But people seem to get very angry that people do that. Why? I don't know. Going back to my previous comment of they paid for the bottle, they can consume it however they want to. I get it. You might look at that and get mad and say, that's just not for me, I don't want to see this. And guess what? You can continue scrolling past, you can, there's a handy dandy block feature that just, you don't have to see it again. Or you can just realize that it shouldn't bother you that much. So I'm just gonna pour a little bit into my rocks glass. Hefty little pour, because that's what I want to drink and call it good. Who cares? You shouldn't. Moving on. So we poured the glass of whiskey. That goes into the next rule of it must be neat. I personally drink most of my whiskey neat. It's just, I get the most flavor out of it, and that's a valuable argument. You get more flavor. I mean, you're not gonna get as much flavor if you throw a bunch of ice in it or you're mixing it, but guess what? If they enjoy doing that, then who cares? It doesn't matter what bottle that they're mixing with, what they're pouring over ice. I don't care if you take Pappy, pour it on ice, or throw it into Diet Coke. I don't care, because that's your bottle that you paid for. That's not my money. Would I do that? Probably not. But do I care that they do that? No. Honestly, some people don't want to sit there and nose and fondle their glass and pick every last, flavor note out of just picking berries and nutmeg, and they don't want to do that. What they want to do is consume a tasty beverage, and they have every right to do so however they want to do so. Whatever brings them enjoyment is what they should be able to do. I personally like taking some good old Dr. Pepper and pouring it with a hefty pour of this because I like that. It's delicious. Not really, but I can do that because it's my bottle. All right, moving on. Rule number 4. So this is another one I've seen people make comments about, and they seem to get really, really angry that people do this. I'm moving to a Kinsey glass over here with a neat pour, and the rule is you cannot swirl your whiskey. None of this, none of this, none of this. You're ruining that whiskey. What? Now, I don't know if there's some scientific thing. Maybe there's some super delicate whiskey that you're just ruining, but it smells like it did 20 minutes ago when I poured this. It smells good. Now, I'm not saying you need to swirl your whiskey. I know in the world of wine, and maybe that's where this kind of comes from, is that you swirl the wine glass and it aerates the wine and you get more aromas come out. I don't know how much of that even happens with whiskey. I don't know. I don't know the science. What I do know is when I swirl it, it doesn't ruin the whiskey for me personally. So I don't think it should be a problem that people do. I don't think it should upset you. For me, it's just a habit. I drink wine and I swirl my glass, and this is just carries over, and it's kind of fun. I mean, look at that, fun! This goes back to the whole just minding your own business thing. Like, it shouldn't bother you what they're doing if they're swirling it or pouring it on themselves or rubbing it on themselves. Like, let them be. All right, moving on to the final, and this is kind of a two-parter, is that there is a specific way to nose and taste a whiskey. Again, kind of like the whole Glencairn debacle. Yes, there are techniques to nosing and to tasting to maximize the flavors that you're getting out of it. So that's true. I'm cool. Yes, drink it that way, smell it a certain way, and whatever. But you don't have to do that every time you pour something. I mean, do you really think every pour that I pour, I'm in here just, smell it that way and no, I'm not, because I know I like it and I don't need to break it down into every molecule of flavor that's coming out of the glass. Kind of weird. This was a personal one to me, as someone commented on a video of mine saying, you didn't nose that right. You're wrong. You kept your mouth closed while you're smelling that. You're wrong. One, I mean, I kind of edit these videos. There's a lot of smelling and tasting and chewing that goes on in my videos that I don't think you would want to sit through, so I crop it out. So there's that. 2, I get it. Yeah, opening your mouth is a technique. Helps you taste things differently. 3, it shouldn't matter if I did or didn't do that. Oh, you didn't open your mouth. You didn't adequately taste that whiskey, man. And then going back to the drinking thing, you don't have to chew the whiskey and do all that mumbo jumbo that people do. Yes, it's a technique and it works and it helps you. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Imagine going to game day. You're in the living room with the guys and you're the one dude over there just this is I'm getting hints of. No. Watch the game, enjoy a glass of whiskey, okay? All right, so those are the 5 rules, and I'm gonna leave you guys with a bonus rule. And in fact, you can combine all 5 of these into this one single rule that I'm about to tell you. No matter what, at the end of the day, don't be a douche. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to see someone pour their pappy in Sprite and you cringe a little. Okay, I get it. But guess what? You don't have to go talk crap. You don't have to go tell them how wrong and how you would never do that, and how you suck, what a waste, you're wasting that bourbon, because guess what? One, they're not wasting that bourbon because, again, it's their money, it's their bottle. They could pour it down the drain for all you should care. It's not like you were going to get a taste of any of their whiskey anyway. So if they are swirling it to death, if they're pouring it over 32 pieces of ice, if they're pouring it into friggin' Mountain Dew, it does not matter. They're filling a pint glass full of bourbon. Have fun. The ER. But still, probably be a lot of fun. Remember, we're all here because we like whiskey. We enjoy drinking whiskey. It should not be some sort of contest of you're drinking it right or wrong or whatever. Enjoy whiskey. If you liked the video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you are new here. Leave comments down below. If you agreed with these, let me know that you agreed with them. If you disagreed, let me know down below. We can have a civilized conversation about it. It's not that hard to be adults. This life is way too short to be getting so upset about how others live their lives and how they consume alcohol. And until next time, guys, I'm Trev Wilson. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see ya in the next video. And remember, if you're a snob, you can sug it. For everyone who's still here, this bottle right here is not Blanton's at all. So if you watched any of that and got upset, then that just goes to show you that maybe you need to reevaluate. This is just an infinity bottle full of leftover whiskey. It honestly doesn't even taste that good. It's a terrible infinity blend, but hey, I kept the Blanton's bottle and it makes certain people upset, so learning lesson.